Hello friends, let's talk about moment of inertia today. Moment of inertia, we all know it is the rotational analog of mass. Rotational analog of mass in linear motion. So, moment of inertia is a property of mass distribution. It is how a mass of rigid body is distributed about its axis of rotation. That is what moment of inertia is. Moment of inertia is a tensor quantity, and the units we know, it is equal to kg meter square. For mass distribution or a point mass, moment of inertia is sigma mi ri square, I equal to 1 to n. This is how we can calculate moment of inertia. For a ring, it is equal to mr square. In this case, if the axis of rotation is perpendicular to the plane of the ring and passes through center of the ring. For disk, it is equal to mr square by 2. For solid sphere, it is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. Students, please note down the moment of inertia of ring is same as that of moment of inertia of hollow cylinder. Disk is same as that of moment of inertia of solid cylinder, because the way mass is distributed about an axis in case of ring is the same the way mass is distributed about an axis about a hollow cylinder. So moment of inertia is same in both the cases. Hollow sphere, we call it shell also, 2 by 3 mr square. Please keep in mind, we consider earth as a solid sphere, of uniform density during our calculations. We don't take density as variable unless it is given to us, right? So in case of rod, ml square by 12, provided moment of inertia is axis is passing through the center and rod is perpendicular. If rod is inclined by an angle theta with the vertical, then it is ml square by 12 sin square alpha. Even in fact, that formula is not in our CBSE, and so we are not talking about that right now. Rod, solid, square plate, या rectangular lamina. In case moment of inertia is m upon 12 L square plus B square. In case of square sheet, it becomes ml square by 6 because L is equal to B. Then we have two different theorems. The one is parallel axis theorem. Parallel axis theorem states that, let us say this is my rigid body. This is the axis passing through center of mass. The moment of inertia about this axis is ICM. Now I have to calculate moment of inertia about some another axis which is equal to I and is parallel to the another axis which is passing through center of mass. In this case, I is equal to ICM plus mh square. And if we talk about perpendicular axis theorem, it states that Ix plus Iy is equal to Iz. While applying this theorem, you have to keep one thing in mind, then Ix and Iy are in the plane of lamina and they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Moreover, both of them, Ix and Iy, must pass through center of mass. Iz should also pass through the center of mass. It must be perpendicular to the plane of lamina, meeting the points meeting the lines about x and y axis about which ix and iy is passing. So keeping these things in mind, you can use this formula. Now let's move on to a problem. 3 particles each of mass 200 gram are kept at the corners of an equilateral triangle of side 10 centimeter. Find the moment of inertia about the system joining the 2 particles about an axis. Let us say this is my axis joining the 2 particles, my first particle, second particle, third particles. 3 particles we have, each of mass 200 gram, 200 gram, 200 gram. Equilateral triangle of side 10 centimeter, 10 centimeter, 10 centimeter. In this case, moment of inertia is m into r square for a particle, where r is the perpendicular distance of the particle from the axis of rotation. So in this case, my moment of inertia is 0 in these 2 bodies, because perpendicular distances of these 2 masses of 200 gram from my axis of rotation is 0. So I am left over with only this mass whose perpendicular distance is, let us say, this is my distance r. So again, moment of inertia is m r square. Now let us say this is an equilateral triangle, so this angle is 30 degree, where r is equal to 10 cos 30. I am taking all the data in CGS units. Cos 30 root 3 by 2, यानी कि 5 root 3 centimeter. So mass here is 200 gram. R is 5 root 3 का square, 225 into 3. Calculate it. The units will be gram, centimeter square. This will be your answer. In second case, the axis is passing through the point of the particles and perpendicular to the plane of the particles. Like in this case, let us say these are the 3 particles and this is my axis. So a moment of inertia of this 200 gram is there, of this 200 gram is there. Of this particle we don't have any moment of inertia because this particle is lying at the axis. So perpendicular distance is r. In this case, r is equal to 10 centimeter. So moment of inertia is 200 into 10 ka square of this particle. For this particle, it is also 200 into 10 ka square. So 10 ka square is 100 plus 20,000. So it comes out to be 40,000 gram centimeter square about this axis. This is how we can calculate moment of inertia. Do keep this thing in mind. R is the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. You don't take any random distance. Let's move on to another question. This is a very nice question. Very nice. Calculate moment of inertia of the system about a given axis. Now this is my axis. Now this system consists of 4 solid spheres, each of radius b, each of mass m, each of radius b and mass m. Now these 4 solid spheres are lying at the 4 corners. Their centers lying at the 4 corners of a square of side A. Now let's name it as sphere 1, sphere 2, sphere 3 and sphere 4. So my moment of inertia about the axis is I1, I2, I3 plus I4. I have to add them up. Here in this case, moment of inertia of this sphere, this is my axis which is passing through center of the sphere. So I1 is 2 by 5 m b square. My radius is b. About this axis is, I have to use parallel axis theorem. Why parallel axis theorem? Because this is my axis about which moment of inertia is 2 by 5 m b square. I have to calculate moment of inertia about this axis which is parallel to this axis. The perpendicular distance h between the 2 axes is a in this case. So my moment of inertia is 2 by 5 m b square of this particle plus m into a square plus m into a square. This is moment of inertia of second particle. Now the moment of inertia of second particle and third particle will be same about this axis of rotation. It is because this distance is a, this distance is also b, so I can multiply this figure by 2 to add this. And if I talk about the fourth particle, the moment of inertia of this particle about this axis of rotation is 2 by 5 mb square. It is same as 1, so it is, let me multiply it with 2 also. So it is 4 by 5 mb square, 4 by 5 mb square, 2 ma square. It comes out to be 8 upon 5 mb square, 2 ma square. This is my moment of inertia. This is a very important question, very, very important question. Now let's move on to another question. This question is not 100% of moment of inertia, although it involves a little bit of concept of moment of inertia and obviously of energy conservation. I am taking this question into account because this is one of my favorite questions. A meter stick is held vertically with one end on a rough horizontal floor. Now this is a horizontal floor and this is my meter stick. Let us say this is my meter stick. It is held vertically on the ground like this. Now what is happening over here? As per my question, it is gently allowed to fall on the floor. When the stick is gently allowed to fall on the floor, it will rotate about this point and it will fall like this. This point will be my instantaneous axis of rotation or my axis of rotation throughout the fall. Find the angular speed of the rod when it hits the floor. The length is, let us say, the length is L, which is equal to 1 meter. Angular speed you have to tell. Initial angular speed is 0, final angular speed is omega. So we will be applying energy conservation of over here. Right now, the energy possessed by rod. In this condition, what is the energy possessed by rod? It is potential energy. Keep this thing in mind that whenever you are calculating potential energy, you are taking mgh, potential energy is equal to mgh. Here h is not the length of the rod, it is the distance of center of mass of the rod from the ground. Now center of mass of this rod is lying somewhere here. Its distance is 1 by 2 meter. This is my center of mass. So potential energy equal to at the top must be equal to kinetic energy at the bottom. Potential energy like this, kinetic energy. Initial we have potential energy, final step pe we have kinetic energy. The potential energy is mgh, where h is equal to half height of center of mass. Kinetic energy is half I omega square. It is not equal to half mv square. Let me clarify this point over here. Sometimes we do have a habit of doing kinetic energy of half I omega square plus half mv square. While taking half mv square, v is the velocity of axis of rotation. Let me repeat it. V is the velocity of axis of rotation and not of center of mass. Here center of mass is moving, but my axis of rotation is fixed. This is my axis of rotation. Since my axis of rotation is fixed and v is the velocity about this axis of rotation, like, so my v is 0, my axis of rotation is at rest, so I will not include half mv square. I will not include half mv square. So it's only half I omega square. mg. I is moment of inertia of this rod about axis of rotation, about the edge. Now here axis of rotation is my edge and my moment of inertia about edge is ml square by 3. It's not ml square by 12. So I is ml square by 3. Since it is a meter stick, L is equal to 1, so I will substitute L equal to 1 in next step, and omega square. This omega I have to calculate. This gets cancelled out. L is equal to 1. 3g is equal to omega square. Omega is equal to under root of 3g. So this is my angular velocity. Under root of 3g radian per second. Once again students, if you like this video, do share this video. If in case you have any doubts, any questions, any articles you need me to solve it down, do ask them in comments. I'll surely do the needful. Thank you.